round out today's show with my good buddy, Mr. Ross Turetsky, will be joining me to speak on the return of football at all levels. So we'll be talking about the return of high school football as well as college football and the NFL, as some teams have already been in action and other teams will be getting into action very, very soon. So we'll be talking with Ross about that, which I'm very excited about, and we'll round out Friday that way. So with all of that being stated here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, a jam-packed show from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, and I hope that you are, once again, having yourselves a great week, and I hope that it only gets better, and if it's been a rough week, well, then I hope it starts getting good right now. And right now on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, it's time to start things off inside of the Cafe Kubal studios with the Annoying Moment of the Week. The Annoying Moment of the Week, the longest standing segment on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, is fitting because it's the longest standing segment coming to you from the longest standing franchise of Carvel in all of America. Carvel DeWitt, proud partner of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and proud presenter of the Annoying Moment of the Week. The longest segment on the show comes to you from the longest standing Carvel franchise in America. So let's hop right into the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like, and it is now time to have some laughs and have some fun and talk about some stuff that I'm sure gets on your nerves as well. Let's hop into the Annoying Moment of the Week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The Annoying Moment of the Week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy. I guess so. The Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like, and we are getting into the Annoying Moment of the Week. And my first Annoying Moment of the Week today has to be, and I know I've talked about this stuff before, but I got to do it again because it's still a problem. The internet. It's ridiculous. It's horrible. I'm not going to name the company that most people have in central and upstate New York, but I haven't heard a single person say that they like it. I haven't heard a single person say that they like the customer service. I haven't heard a single person say that they like the service itself, or that the internet is good, or that it's affordable, or that it makes sense. They just know that they're the only ones here. For the most part, there's another one here, but they know they've been here. They know they have a stronghold. They know they have a chokehold, and they've raised their prices twice during the pandemic. Twice during a pandemic. Twice during a pandemic. I want to just let that be known. Your computer didn't skip. Your phone didn't skip. I just wanted to say it again. That this company has raised their prices at a time where people are struggling. At a time where it would be best to do right by your clients, but they never do right by their clients. They never do. That I've seen. I shouldn't say never. They used to. A really long time ago. Seemingly when they used to care. So the internet in central and upstate New York, not working that well. It goes in, it comes out, it shuts itself off. I have to shut mine off in the house and turn it back on. I love the fact that I have to literally take my phone off the internet, put it back onto the internet just to get to get the internet to work. My new laptop doesn't like the internet here. Doesn't want to go on it. It struggles with it. So it's very, 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 very frustrating. And that's why it's gotten to be an annoying moment. I'm sure people around the country have struggled with the internet, with a lot of people being home. I'm sure it hasn't been easy. I'm sure it hasn't been fun. But the reality to me is that going through this and having to see this repeatedly over and over and over and over again be a problem is something that needs to change. It really is not good enough to put us in the situation anymore where this does not work. The internet should be working, needs to be working, isn't always working, and it's frustrating. So, it is my Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, because I'm over it, I'm done with it, and having a show on the internet, you want it to work. And I'm not running some crazy operation here where I'm flying planes or trying to, I mean, it's not any type of crazy energy. And what will they say to you? Well, are you using video editing and audio editing? It's like, yeah, and so are a lot of people. I edited on old computers at Marywood University a long time ago, and I was still able to get things to work. So the excuses should be out the window. And these companies need to do right by us. And the company here in Central New York, for the first time in what seemingly feels like a decade, they should do right by us. Maybe be nice to your clients. Maybe give us a break. Maybe lower our prices and you get more people. But no, you jack prices up because you lost too many people. So, yes, you're my annoying moment of the week. 1, because you don't care about us. 2, because your customer service is terrible. 3, because your service itself is terrible. And 4, because the internet should not be this hard to connect to, especially when it's this expensive. So, that's part 1 of the annoying moment of the week. The second annoying moment of the week is that mosquitoes. Skeeters. They're everywhere. And as the summer's winding down, they're becoming more adventurous. They're becoming more excited. They're becoming more vibrant. They're becoming more alive. They seem to be multiplying, and they seem to be everywhere. Mosquitoes. All over the place. In your face, in your hair, in your ear. Do you ever go about your life and out of nowhere you just hear that in your... You just hear that in the ear? You know? And mosquitoes sound different than other things. The flies like... You know? And the bees like... You know? But when you... Mosquito, it's like... It's like it's talking to you. It's whispering. So, mosquitoes. Gotta be my second annoying moment of the week this week. Because I feel like they got into my studio. They were in my car. This is the thing. At night, when I'm coming out, you know, and I'm like unloading stuff from the car and whatnot, and, you know, like, you got different things you got to do. I got the door open for like a half a millisecond, and a mosquito comes in the car. And I'm like, seriously, bro? Get out of my car. What are you doing? Why do you need to be in my car? You know? Maybe it keeps them warm, right? Maybe it's a cold night. Maybe they need to sit down because they've sucked so much blood and they're too heavy now. I don't know. But it's frustrating, and I don't like it. So, I'm over it. I'm really over it. I'm over the mosquitoes. And I don't understand. I feel like they're making like one final push right now. It's like, hey, we're about to go in for the winter. So, you know, they got to just be around you. And they bite here, and my hair's short, like bite the side of your head, they'll bite your neck, they'll bite your leg, and, you know, and they just... And I had other people talking about it too. Mosquitoes. They're just gross. And then when it's like lukewarm outside, you know, it's kind of like that 72, and it's kind of like it's like wet, but it's not wet. It didn't rain, but it feels wet, but maybe it rained a little bit. And they love that weather, and they're just... So, my second annoying moment of the week has got to be the mosquitoes. And the uptick in mosquitoes. Why are they around more now? What are they doing? Is it because of the storm? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. But I thought they were pretty good this summer. I hit a mosquito yesterday. I like flicked it off of my back screen door in my house. And when I flicked it off the screen door, it didn't like fall back like most things do. Like you flick it and it goes flying. I flicked it, and then he decided when he wanted to leave, and he backed up, and he just kind of hovered. And then he went, like, that's the best you got, bro. So, I'm over it. I'm over mosquitoes biting me, and I'm over them feeling comfortable, and I'm over them giving me an attitude. So, mosquitoes and the internet. Fix yourselves. Mosquitoes, why do you exist? It's one of the questions I have for God. Besides being spider food, why do you exist? What do you bring to the world? You bring disease and you suck blood. What do you... And, you know, so, like, what do you bring? What positivity do you bring to this world? In any relationship, you have to ask, what are the positives? What are the negatives? I know the negatives. I don't know any of the positives when it comes to mosquitoes. So maybe somebody can enlighten me today. Who knows? Maybe, just maybe. With that being said, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, those are my 2 annoying moments of the week. Internet, please, for the love of God, get better. And besides that, mosquitoes, I'm not saying you got to hibernate. I'm not saying y'all got to run away. I'm just saying, respect me and leave me alone. And let's just be one happy family here on this earth, okay? We'll take a step aside for a fast break inside a Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Thanks to Carvel for the annoying moment of the week, giving me an opportunity to go off about something every single week and have some fun. And no matter what you're going off about, no matter what upsets you, no matter what your week has been like, Carvel DeWitt's there for you. Whether you're happy, sad, angry, confused, tired, or anywhere in between, Carvel DeWitt is there to put a smile on your face. If it's already there, they want to make it bigger. If it's not there, they want to create one. And they've been creating memories with my family and yours for years. Head off to Carvel DeWitt today, the longest-standing Carvel franchise in America, at 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. Home of the Orange Dream, my spin on the orange creamsicle, that type of feel to it, in the sundae form and shake form, available exclusively at Carvel DeWitt. We'll see you there. Take a step aside on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, and when we come back, Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver with Miss Juanita Ward comes to you right after this.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, where you're listening. You're watching on Facebook Live on facebook.com/livenowdt, and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. So however you're tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, we appreciate it. Cafe Kubal with multiple locations in central and upstate New York on 3501 James Street, 401 South Salina Street, 208 North Townsend Street, all in Syracuse, as well as in downtown Syracuse inside of Galisanos Children's Hospital, who I commend on their efforts to create miracles every day and take care of our kids, so we appreciate that. And also the locations on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and their newest location and first ever drive-through location on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road in North Syracuse at Sweetheart Corner. So shout out to Cafe Kubal. Inside of Mon Paz, popcorn.com's What's Poppin' here today with Lead, of course, and right around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time every single Friday. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Each of those 4 words, I'll say them again because we need them. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. I created this segment in December of 2019, having no idea a pandemic was coming. And it was perfect timing to remind us that we must learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver, especially, and of course, definitely, when needed most, but really all the time. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. My co-host for this segment, Miss Juanita Ward, motivational speaker and author, and so many beautiful things that she does here in the community of the world. I'm happy to have her here with us, and we have a very special topic today. But before we get to that, I got to bring in my sis, Miss Juanita. How we doing?
Hey, Dan. How's it going?
It's going very well. And Juanita, if you could, I've done some prayers here on the show this week, but if you wouldn't mind leading a prayer for the people affected by any of the weather created by Hurricane Ida, as well as any of the other storms coming in, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to say a prayer for the people out there.
That's awesome.
So,
Father God, we thank you. We thank you for what you're doing. We thank you, oh God, that you have created us in your image, and we thank you, oh God. We just give you glory, praise, and honor for that, most importantly. Father God, we pray right now for everyone that has been affected by this storm. We pray, Lord God, for everyone that is in need of this storm. Father God, you said in your word that you would supply all of our needs according to your riches and glory. Father God, we just ask that you would just wrap your arms around each and every person. We ask for a speedily recovery to everything that's going on, to all the damage. We ask, Lord God, that you would anoint the hands to just touch each and every person, to get down and to make sure that they find each and every thing, each and every person, each and every home that needs to be replenished. Lord God, I pray that you would just put those mend those back together, oh God. Give them the right wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the resources, the finances that need to come in for each and every one of these homes, each and every person. Lord God, I pray that you would just touch them, God. Mend hearts. I know that they have so much value in what is gone, Lord God. But God, I pray that you would just touch them in a supernatural way. We give you glory, we give you praise, and we give you honor. Father God, protect us from each and every storm that's coming in the name of Jesus. I pray, Lord God, peace be still in the name of Jesus. We give you glory, we give you praise, and we give you honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Juanita. So that coming from Juanita Ward today as we say a prayer for the beautiful and wonderful people needing help, love, a break, kindness, joy, faith. They need a lot of things right now. And it's my hope and my prayer, and Juanita's as well, that they find what they need. That the people of New Orleans and the people of every city and every town and every state that need the help, they get it. That the people of New York and New Jersey, that wherever there is flooding, wherever there is storm, wherever there is disaster, wherever there is confusion and strife and sadness and pain, lack of money, lack of resources, we pray that that all changes today for the betterment of all of God's kids. Because I'm a firm believer that if one person is suffering, it's too many. So my prayer and my hope today is that we don't see a lot of people suffering, if anybody's suffering. And I know that that's a big prayer to ask for, but again, one life is too many. So, I love you, New Orleans. Love you, New York, New Jersey, and everywhere in between. And we pray and we hope that you have a better day today than yesterday, but still not as good as what's coming tomorrow. Juanita, it's perfect here to use our segment for this week, because our segment of this week is about challenging the day instead of treating the day like a challenge. Taking control of your life, knowing that you can't control everything, but what you can control, to control that. taking control of your day, challenging the day instead of letting the day feel like a challenge. Finding positivity and opportunity in stress. And to the people dealing with Hurricane Ida and everything else, this is a perfect connection. What can you say about challenging your day as opposed to treating your day like a challenge?
We have to understand that each day is a beautiful thing. Each day is an opportunity to do something. Each day is an opportunity to grow. Each day is an opportunity to wake up and become better than who you were yesterday. Each day is a stepping stone to further your opportunities, to further your career, to go on down the path of your journey. Each day comes with its own challenges. So why put your stress on that day to make that day harder than what it's going to be? The day that we have right now is sufficient enough for itself. It already has in it what needs to be in it. So it doesn't need our help developing what this day is going to become. We can't allow the beauty of today to become a sorrow for tomorrow. Did you hear what I'm saying, Dan? We cannot allow the beauty of today to become a sorrow for tomorrow. We have to take this day as being this. For this is the day that the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. Whatever happens in this day, it already has enough. It's already sufficient and efficient enough to carry whatever load you are trying to carry through. And the beauty of it is you don't have to carry the load. You can cast it off. What you're going through in today, don't let it affect you in tomorrow, because you're taking something that does not need to come out of today into tomorrow. We have to be able to stand in our right now. We have to be able to believe in our right now. We have to be able to have faith in our right now. In doing so, we have to know that we know everything is going to be all right. That's the beauty of handling today, right now, not allowing it to affect tomorrow. If we take it into tomorrow, now we're worrying. Now we're becoming anxious. Now we are not having our trust and our faith in God that can take care of all things, that can supply all things. Now we're trying to fix the problem, and it's not even our problem to fix. And we're trying to fix something. Sometimes things rise up to cause you to become better. Sometimes things rise up in our life, circumstances and situations rise up in our life to cause you to grow. How would you ever grow being comfortable? You can't. You have to always stay in attack mode, always stay in growth mode, always believe that something is going to happen, be in expectation for something. And in doing that, you always have your awareness, your guard, that if I can handle today, I don't have to put tomorrow's worry into effect today. I can just take care of what I'm doing right now. I can take care of the situation of where I am right now. Because now I have not created somebody else's problems to be my problems. I haven't put somebody else's situation up on me because I have enough that I have to deal with. But knowing this, what I do have right now in my hands is enough to handle this day, to protect myself from this day. Because if I don't use what I have today, I'll lose it tomorrow.
You know, and I think, like you said, today has enough. You know, today has enough that you don't need to add to it. If it's going to be an issue, it's going to be a problem. It's enough without you putting more on it. And you know, I think we get caught up in. Well, I know we get caught up in worrying, stressing. And the funny thing is, you know, I'm somebody that's worried a lot and stressed a lot in my life, and I can honestly tell you, it's never solved my problem. Worrying about something and stressing about something has never solved the issue. It's only made the issue worse. It's kind of like seeing an open wound and then talking about the open wound over and over and over again instead of applying any type of Neosporin to the wound or a Band-Aid to the wound or cleaning the wound. You're just looking at it, talking about it, freaking out about it. And the more you look at it and talk about it, you're not making it better. You're not going to see the doctor by looking at it and talking about it. You're not putting ointment on it by looking at it, talking about it. You're not healing it by looking at it, talking about it. You're not putting ice on it by looking at it and talking about it. You're just talking about it. You know, and I've realized kind of being around people this week that I want to be focused and surround myself with people that are focused on the solution. You know, that, yeah, you talk out your problems. Yeah, if something's bothering you or frustrating you, you get it out. I understand that. But once you get it out, instead of repeating it 9 times in a phone conversation, get it out and then spend the majority of the conversation. If you're on the phone for an hour talking about a problem, spend 45 minutes talking about the solution and 15 minutes talking about the problem. Not 2 minutes talking about the solution after you talked your ear off about the problem. We focus so much on stress and worry and doubt and what other people are doing, what other people are saying. None of that is within your control. You will drive yourself nuts. None of that is within your control. It's my job as Juanita's brother, and her job as my sister, and our job as your friends over the line here. That when you call us, or you talk to us, or you're listening to us, or whatever it may be, when we talk to each other, to say, what can you do, Juanita? Okay, I heard your problem. Now, what can you do for the solution? What can you do to make life better? What can you do to evolve? You told me what he did. You told me what she did. You told me what they did. But now what can you do? What will you do? How are you going to attack this? Because I'm not going to leave the phone without Juanita focusing on herself and what she can control. Because if she gets off the phone with me still thinking about him, her, them, that, this, whatever, and everything in between, then how did I help her? How did she grow? How can we find a solution? So, Juanita, I think it's imperative when we have these conversations that when the day is challenging us, we challenge it back. And instead of worrying, and instead of doubting, and instead of stressing, and instead of fearing, which takes all of our energy and leaves us exhausted, that we get on those phone conversations and we ask that person who's spinning out of control just like a tornado, just like a hurricane, what are you going to do to make the situation better? How are you going to do something, say something within your own control? I think it's important when someone's spinning out of control and in chaos to remind them this is your life. You are holding the microphone. What are you going to say next? You have your shoes on. Where are you going to walk next? Because worrying about what somebody else is going to do with the microphone and with their shoes will leave you fearful and angry and worried and stressed forever. I think it's important to remind everybody when the day is challenging and you challenge it back, it's your microphone, it's your shoes, it's your time to say something, and it's your time to start stepping forward.
We have to always remember this. Fear is the opposite of faith. Fear and faith cannot dwell in the same place. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Faith is believing in something that you hope for, the evidence that you don't see right now. You know it's coming, but you don't have it right now. But you keep your hope in it because you know that it's going to happen. Fear, you doubt, you dread. You become anxious for something that you don't have, and it causes stress and it causes problems. And then you listen to somebody else's problems that cause stress, that cause dread. And you mentioned something, Dan. You have to be able to walk in the shoes that you're in. Because if you step into somebody else's shoes, you take on a big problem that you was never supposed to take on from the beginning. If you allow somebody else's situations and somebody else's problems to become your problem, it would affect you for a lifetime to come. And now you go home with their problem and you sleep with their problem. And you wonder why you wake up in the morning with a headache because it's a problem that you was never supposed to have, that you took on, that you was never supposed to bear the fruit from. So you wonder why now you were spitting out of your mouth and regurgitating out of your mouth something that does not even supposed to be attached to you. So we have to know the shoes that we walk in and the lane that we walk in. If you hit it, Dan, if you allow somebody to continuously talk to you. I said this to one of my good friends yesterday. I call the chief. I said this. I said, if you allow somebody to dump junk on you, how in the world are they going to put their trash out? We have to be able to take people to the trash can so they can dump the trash in the trash can. If they come to you with the junk, they have to be able to understand that you're not listening to the junk. You're listening to it to find a solution. You hear what they're saying to help them find a solution. And the thing is, you don't listen to it for a very long time because it will come your structure. It will come your mode. And you don't want to be molded into gossip and filth. And that's where we have to get to the point where we say this: my ears are for good, not for bad. Because it's to hear a solution to help fix a problem. And when we come to this point in our life where we understand that we have something greater on the inside of us. And I thought this was so key because then she said this: your preparation is in alignment with your celebration. So what we are preparing right now will become a celebration for our later if we can keep ourselves in alignment with understanding that this is the day that the Lord has made. I mean, everything else that tries to come and attack to us is not in preparation to our celebration. Everything that's being thrown at us is not in preparation to our celebration. We have our own lane to prepare. We have our own shoes to wear. We have to wear the size that fit us. We have to run into the lane that's for us. If we step outside of our lane, now you're hit with something that you was never supposed to be hit with. Don't allow somebody else's junk to become your fruit or your seed. Unplug the roots that are not supposed to be there. Take out the weeds that are not supposed to be in your ear. Throw them away.
Yeah.
Most importantly, water the fruit, water the seeds that's supposed to be. And don't let anybody tell you what you are supposed to be and who you are supposed to be. Their process to your success does not align up to what God has called you to be.
You know, and I mean, it's the outside noise. It's what I talked about in the annoying moment of the week, a segment before. The mosquito. It's that thing that's always kind of humming in your ear, right? Think about that like people, right? You swat a mosquito away. You don't want the mosquito in your ear saying stuff, buzzing around, but you don't like that. So why do you allow that sound in your ear from the mosquitoes of the world, figuratively speaking? When people are spreading negativity, hate, fear, mistrust, anger, rage, dissension, distance, segregation. When people are spitting that, why not swat it away like a mosquito? Why not say, I don't want to hear that in my ear? It's important to remember that you can't control what is said about you and what is done to you. But you can control your response. That is what you can control, your response. And I think it's imperative to remember that because we put our control in other people all the time. We have a good day until somebody hurts us. I'm going to have a good day until somebody makes me cry, until somebody cuts me off in traffic, until somebody doesn't have the latte that I wanted, until somebody breaks up with me, until I don't get this job, until I go to the store and they don't have what I'm looking for. I'm going to have a good day until somebody changes it. No, change the narrative on that. I'm going to have a good day, period. Better yet, exclamation point. I'm going to have a good day despite who cuts me off in traffic. I'm going to have a good day despite who breaks up with me, who doesn't give me the job. I'm going to have a good day if I go to the grocery store and my cereal isn't there. I'm going to have a good day if my latte wasn't made correctly. I'm going to have a good day no matter what anybody else does, because it's not their choice on whether or not I have a good day. It's mine. And folks, I'm going to send something to you, and this might hit a little bit, but it's supposed to. The people that you allow to hurt you, they don't even care enough to know most of the time, because they're on to the next person. They're on to the next problem. They're on to the next fire to start. They don't care if they hurt you. They're not thinking about you. 9 times out of 10, the person that hurt you and affected you and made you sad is already on to the next person to attack. They're not even thinking about you. And you're letting yourself think about that. What does Juanita say? Fear, false evidence appearing real. What do I tell you? Fear is the devil's lie. Fear is the one thing standing between you and everything you could want or ever need. Fear. There is the notion that in life, as you walk down the street of life and you go to turn that corner, that the devil stands there with a giant fear sign. And most of you run away. But right behind him, God's sitting there waiting to give you a hug. Remember, it is when you are pushed most, when you are beaten most, when you don't think you can take any more, that you are almost there. Do you think when a runner is running a race, at the end of the race, they're feeling great, they're feeling awesome, they're not sweating, their body isn't fatigued, they're not needing water? Do you think that? No. At the end of a race, that is when they are pushing through the pain. They're pushing through the strife. They're pushing through my ankle hurts. They're pushing through my toe doesn't feel right in my shoe. They're pushing through the sweat. They're pushing through the heat. They're pushing through the fact that they're thirsty. They're pushing through it all. Right on the other side of fear is what's waiting for you from God. And you say, Dan, I can't get there. I'm scared and I'm afraid and I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm stressed. And that is exactly how a runner feels at the end of the race. Tired, stressed. I want to get to the end. I want to get there. I've worked so hard for this. Remember that when you're running a race of life, figuratively and literally. Remember that. When you think, I can't possibly go any farther, I can't do it, I'm too tired. Remember that the people that cross the finish line, they're fatigued, they're tired, they're exhausted, and they're trying to finish the race. They're not coming through that thing feeling like they just went through a walk in the park, like they just had a nice Thanksgiving meal and they're sitting there in a chair. No, they're stressed, they're pushing, they're finding a way. At the end of your battle, you are going to be tired and fatigued. But you didn't get in that battle to lose it. You didn't get in that fight to lose it. You didn't enter into this world to succumb to this world. You are above this world. You are better than this world. So remember that. Remember that. And remember that everybody gets scared. I'm not going to name the singer, but I was told a story this week of a singer that showed up to an event. And they were the headliner. And they had somebody opening for them. And they went into the stadium, and they saw how many seats were there, and they got scared. And they didn't want to be the headliner. And they begged the other person to headline the concert because they didn't think that maybe they could fill the seats or maybe the lights were too big for them. They were afraid of the situation. They were afraid of the opportunity. They were afraid that maybe everything they've ever wanted, they couldn't do or do well. And I'm not going to tell you who it is, but that person today is selling out places 10 times the size. And by the way that their lyrics are, I don't think they're as worried about what other people think as they used to be. We all start somewhere, and we can all finish somewhere. But you got to be willing to cross the finish line, no matter how much your stomach hurts, no matter how much you're sweating, no matter how tight your shoes feel, because it's at the end of the race where you have to push through the most.
That's beautifully put, Dan. I really really want people to understand exactly what we talked about last week about the race. And the message that came across was the race is not given to the swift or to the strong, but to the one who endures to the end.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to read it one more time just because I want everyone to understand. The race is not given to the swift or to the strong, but to the one who can endure, or to the one who endures to the end. When we are hit with a challenge, we have to understand that in that word challenge, you can take out a couple of letters, and the word represents change. You hear me, Dan? You can in the word challenge, you can take out just a few letters, and the word will represent change. We have to understand that the words that we speak are words of change. How can you allow the challenges that you have today change your tomorrow? How can we allow the challenges that we have today affect our tomorrow? Don't become complacent in who you are.
Yeah.
Every single lesson comes with the blessing. You just have to see. Every single lesson comes with the blessing. And if you cannot look through the forest and see the trees, most importantly, if you can't look through the forest and see that light shining through the trees, you have your eyes fixed on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
We have to believe that when a challenge is sent to us, it is sent to us to help bring about change. Walk in the right lane. Speak life to yourself. Declare and decree, I will succeed. Anybody that throws their dirt, I will succeed. Let me figure out how I can help them. But first, you have to help thyself in order to affect somebody else. So when you're hit with a challenge, understand that it's your time to make a change.
I love it. And it's beautiful. Like you said, change. In that word challenge, we find the word change. And it's a beautiful thing there. Because when you are challenged, you're asked to grow, to change in some way, shape, or form, to evolve. Change is not a bad thing if you let it make you better. Change for the better, evolve for the better, grow for the better, learn for the better, ad-lib for the better, deliver on the promises that you've made to yourself and to other people for the better. Challenge your day. When it challenges you, challenge it back. Seek to change it for the better. Wake up in the morning and smile. I got a chance to attack the day. The day is not going to attack me more than I attack it. The day is not going to affect me more than I affect it. The day is not going to challenge me more than I challenge it. No matter how hard it is, focus on what you can control, what you can do, how you can make today better for yourself and for other people. Because if you're focusing on God and you're focusing on faith and you're focusing on love and you're focusing on goodness and you're focusing on positivity, you will not fail the day, no matter how much the day feels like it fails you. Focus on what you can control and get after it. Juanita, I love you, I appreciate you, and I thank you as always.
Thank you so much, Dan. I love you back, bro.
Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Take care. That coming from Miss Juanita Ward here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We'll take a quick step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we have our Top Dog of the Week announcement, which just so happens to be very big news for LeMoyne College. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand butter chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.com, like I said once before, of course, on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, where you're watching and listening. It is my honor and my privilege to be able to do what we do every single Monday through Friday and even beyond that. But there's something special coming up for you right now. And we just announced last week on my grandfather's birthday on August 26th at 2:13 p.m., celebrating his number and my number, 21 and 13, together on the multimedia marketing partnership that we have with LeMoyne College. Well, just 2 days after the official start of that, here on September 3rd, we have breaking news. But not only do we have breaking news, in the Top Dog of the Week segment, I have to honor her this way, and I know she doesn't know that this is coming, but here we go. Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. The top dog of the week this week is someone that you know from LeMoyne history. It's someone that played LeMoyne women's basketball for the Dolphins, played under Gina Castelli, and played under Mary Grimes, who was the assistant coach at the time. And now she will take up that post as assistant coach under Mary Grimes, as Mary's the new head coach here, as Joanna Dabrowski joins me here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in the official breaking news unveiling of the fact that she is now an assistant coach at Moyne College for the women's basketball team. This news is breaking. This news is happening instantaneously right here in the moment, online at LeMoyneDolphins.com and right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Welcome, Joanna, to the show. I have been impatiently holding this information, so I'm happy that I don't have to anymore. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be on.
And I'm very excited to have you here. Interesting story, and we were talking about it off the air a bit here, and that's the fact that your head coach is Gina Castelli, and her and I are very close. Your assistant coach was Mary Grimes, and now she's the head coach. And now you're back in the position that she held. Just how small the world is and how amazing it is to have Gina as your coach and Mary there as the assistant. And now Mary steps forward, so now you step from player to coach. The evolution of that and just what that means to you.
Yeah, it's super exciting, and I feel really lucky to have had Gina as my coach because she's an amazing person and an amazing coach. And same with Mary Grimes, and to be back here, it just means the world to me. So I'm super excited to be back on campus.
Tell me how it started. How did it happen? How did all of the chips fall the way that they did?
So after I graduated, I knew that I wanted to keep basketball in my life. So I ended up volunteer assisting at another Jesuit school called Spring Hill College in Alabama. And then from there, I was living in Atlanta, and I had a job at the YMCA there in Atlanta, and I was doing skills clinics for younger kids, and I heard about this job, and it was just super exciting for me. So I decided to apply because this is like my dream position, and then it just ended up really happening for me, and I'm just super excited.
What was the conversation like with Mary? I mean, when you saw this job opportunity get posted and whatnot, how soon was it after Mary had been announced?
It was a couple months after Mary was announced. I think we touched base, and we had a great relationship when she was my coach. She worked with the Posts back then, and I'm a Post player myself, so we had that connection, and we decided to go along with the interview process, and it was fairly quick after that. I want to say a couple weeks. So it was a great process and a quick process, and I'm just, again, so happy to be here.
What did Mary say to you? What was the conversation like when you finally, touched base and spoke with one another about the opportunity?
I think that what Mary really wanted was somebody with high energy, and she's a very high energy person. She has a great personality, and that really shines through her coaching. And I think that her and I have that in common. I think we balance each other out, and we work well together, and we haven't gone through a season yet, but we're hopeful that we'll have a great season, and we're just really high energy, positive, happy coaches here at LeMoyne.
And, Mary, I got to sit down with her and I got to meet her energy a little bit. How would you best describe Mary Grimes? What would be some words to describe her personality and her kind of own take on her energy?
Well, I would say that she is a very fun person. She's a fun person to be around. I think that she makes every situation better. She's just someone that really, truly, lights up a room. And her energy is contagious, and it's just really great to be around her. She's a great person.
So for you, speaking here with Joanna Jabrowski, who has just been announced here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in our multimedia marketing partnership with the LeMoyne Dolphins. You hear it here first. And this beautiful, wonderful moment in LeMoyne history that a former player is coming back to become an assistant coach. For you, like you said, this was a dream. Why coming back to Central New York and coming back to LeMoyne? Why is this your dream?
Well, I am a local. I grew up in Skaneateles, New York, so I have a lot of family in the area, and family means a lot to me. I had a great college experience here at LeMoyne, and I love the city of Syracuse, and that's about it. I love to be back. I love this part of the world. I love upstate New York, and this is my favorite college.
We hear you say, I love this part of the world. I love upstate New York. The people, I hear a lot of people, it snows too much. You know what I mean? Like, they get upset. They get there's 5 months of snow.
You got to take the snow. You got to take the snow because it makes the summer feel better. It really puts the summer in perspective because you're like, the snow's coming, but it makes you appreciate better weather. And the snow is beautiful when you don't have to drive. So you just take it. Take the snow. It's great.
And that, I think that's the thing. It's been in the 90s. You know what I mean? It's been for like 3 weeks. It was 90, 91, 92. And I love how you see people do that. They complain about how hot it is, but then they don't want it to snow up here. I tell people all the time, listen, we're, like it or not, we're inside of Santa's armpit. Okay, that's where the snow lies. That's where we are. And that's fine, and we'll get through it together, and we'll find a way. But you said, I love Central New York. I love this part of the world. I'm such a proponent of coming here, being here, staying here. Central and upstate New York, to me, is a beautiful thing. We get 4 seasons, and, I feel like I get the best of a lot of different worlds. So what can you tell people who haven't been here, besides the snow? Why do you just find Central and upstate New York to be a special place to be a coach, to be a player, to continue your career?
Well, besides, like you said, the 4 seasons, there's a lot to do on the seasons coming up. We got a nice fall here. We have great apples here in Central New York, and apple orchards and pumpkin patches, and I just think there's a variety of different things to do. Because we have the 4 seasons. And I think that there's great people here in Syracuse. There's a lot of great high school teams, sports teams, programs around. So I just think we have a good variety of people around here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And you talked about the apples, and I don't know what it is that got in me. It's like the weather got cooler yesterday, and then something inside of my blood said, you need to go to Beacon Skiff. So,
It's a great place to go. Especially this is perfect weather right now. I know we had the hot weather a couple weeks back, but right now it's feeling like fall, and I hope fall's here to stay.
Yeah, it's, I've always said I can take like 66, 72, 75, somewhere in that world with some sun, even if there's a few clouds, but some sun, I'm good with that. I can rock in the high 60s, low 70s. So, Joanna here with us. Joanna, before I let you go, what do you remember about your time at LeMoyne that was so special and such a critical part of what made you come back? What are maybe some pillars that you just really never forgot of your playing days at LeMoyne?
Well, I feel like a big emphasis here at LeMoyne is really getting to know your teammates and getting to know the people around you and building those strong relationships. And a huge part of why I loved LeMoyne so much is because me and my teammates became like family, and I'm still so close to most of my the girls on my team and previous teams. And it's just you build a really good rapport with your teammates and your coaches, and it's a great place to be.
What do you want to say to Mary? I know you've probably said some things to her off the air, but what do you want to say to Mary Grimes, and what should the world know about her?
I feel so lucky to be working beside Mary Grimes, and I think she is a force to be reckoned with. We're coming for the NE10 this year, so we're trying to win a lot of games.
I love it. And you'll be, now you as a former post player, is that going to be your focus?
Yes, I'm primarily going to be working with the post players this year, and Coach Grimes works a lot with the guards. Okay. So, yep, the bigs.
So you got the bigs of LeMoyne. Now, have you already hit the ground running recruiting-wise, kind of thinking about where do you want to go, where you want to attack? I mean, how much of a future planner are you?
We've been looking. I'm not disclosing much of that information, but we've been looking. We always keep our eyes out. We're always looking for new talent to bring on the team.
All right, fair enough. So with that being said, the last piece of this with Joanna Dabrowski here with us, assistant coach of the LeMoyne Dolphins women's basketball team, former player on the team just a few seasons ago, and the assistant coach is Mary Grimes. Now, Mary is her head coach, and she is an assistant coach elevating from being a player and making history here on Wake Up Call as we break the news to you first. We do a thing on the show, Joanna, called Rapid Fire. And in Rapid Fire, it allows you and I to ask each other questions that don't have to do necessarily with sports, could have to do with anything. But in the spirit of Rapid Fire, we're just firing away these questions, and we have to answer them. We're live on video and audio. I'm going to give you 2 questions, but because I believe in fairness, kindness, and a bonus, you get to ask me 3 since you've been so great.
Okay.
So I'll ask you 2, you'll ask me 3. You will start with your first question for me.
Okay. Favorite college football team?
I grew up in Central New York. My favorite college football team is Syracuse. I will tell you.
Good team.
Yeah, I will tell you that in defending them for almost a decade, I've also become a pretty big fan of UCF, the Knights down in Orlando. So
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
But Syracuse is my first, and I think that the first picture of me wearing an SU sweatshirt was when I was 1. So, it's been Syracuse forever, I would say.
Right. Great place.
My first one for you, Joanna, is if you could go into the fictional world of any TV show or movie, where would you want to be and why?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. Let me see. Any fictional TV movie? Okay. I would probably go into the wizarding world of Harry Potter, and I would want to go to the School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
I like that. Why Harry Potter?
I don't know. It's it's one of the only series I've read, and I just love that imaginary world of magic.
I love that. I think that's very, very cool. That's an awesome answer. What's your next one for me?
Let's see. What food would you eat for the rest of your life if you could only eat one food?
Well, I do like to cook, and so there's a lot of things that I like to have. But if I had to choose one thing for the rest of my life, because you can make it different things, you can put different things on it and make it exciting, I would have to say at the core of me, I'm a Ninja Turtle. So okay. I'm going to say pizza. It's got to be pizza.
Nice.
It's got to be pizza. My next one for you, as we're here with Joanna Dabrowski, who just got named assistant coach this morning for LeMoyne Dolphins women's basketball under Mary Grimes. What is the one song that you could play on repeat for the rest of your life and never get sick of?
Oh, Lord, that is tough. Let's see. I think Love This Life by Low Cash.
Okay.
Little country pop.
Okay. All right, little country pop. Now, were you always a country fan, or did you become one over time?
I've always been a country fan. Yeah.
Okay. Is that a Skinny Atlas thing, or no?
I'd say probably some people are country fans in Skinny Atlas. I don't know what their music preference is really, but yeah, maybe it is a Scan thing.
I like Scan. It keeps it shorter, and I have
Town. That's the lingo.
And I have to ask you this for the record of it. Some people spell Skinny Atlas T-L-E-S or T-E-L-E-S. What is the correct way?
It's S-K-A-N-E-A-T-E-L-E-S.
So the E is after the T. For those of you that spell it Skinny Addles is what I say. But
Yep.
all right, fair enough. What's your last question for me?
Let's see. If you... Last question. If you had to be a team mascot, which team mascot would you choose?
Of like college, pro?
Yeah, anything. Like any mascot. Like, what do you think is the coolest mascot? What would you like to be wearing at some sports games?
You know, that's a really, really good question. I've honestly never been asked this question before.
That's good. I'm getting creative.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I would have to say, I feel like this is going to have to follow us through our timeline, that when we talk over the coming months, we're going to have to keep this mascot thing rolling. I'll have to keep it alive somehow.
Okay.
But I would say, oh, this is tough. For nostalgia, I would be Otto, but I think if you really wanted me to get into it, and I've been a Raptors fan my entire life. I've been a Raptors fan since like 94, before the team, I think the logo was released in 94, and then the team came out in 95. So I've been a Raptors fan forever. I'm still waiting for apology letters, roses, and chocolates to my house for when they won in 2019. But from many people, you know who you are. And so I would say I would definitely be the Raptor, because I love Raptors in like history. I like Jurassic Park. I'm a big fan of, obviously, the team in Toronto. And I've jokingly but seriously said that if Chris Pratt can talk to Velociraptors, I want to show up in a post-credit scene where I'm riding on top of one. And I look at him and I say, oh, you just talked to him? Oh, that's cute. And then I just ride away on the Raptor.
That is funny.
So I would have to be the Raptor of Toronto as well.
Good answer. I love it.
Thank you. So with that being said, Joanna Dabrowski here with us, new LeMoyne women's basketball assistant coach, former player on the team in the beautiful small world of sports, as Mary was the assistant when she was there. Now Mary Grimes elevates to head coach. Joanna goes from player to assistant coach. Joanna, thank you for letting Wake Up Call be your place of history. And I'm very much looking forward to sharing more and more about your story and getting to sit down with you. And I'm very happy we got to do this morning, so thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you for the opportunity. I feel like a celebrity.
Well, you should feel good. You're back home. You're one of the few people that likes the snow. So, you're one of the proponents for us. And I think when you grow up by Skinny Atlas Lake, I think you find it's such a pristine and beautiful place that I think you were spoiled a little bit. You got Blue Water Grill out there. There's a lot of good things for you. So
It's true.
So with that being said, Joanna, thank you so much, and I'll look forward to talking with you soon.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Bye.
See you. And with that being said, from Joanna Dabrowski here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I have to say, fins up, folks. That's what it's all about. The fins are up and ready to go. I am very, very excited about the fact that we got to, this morning, just 2 days into the official start of our multimedia marketing partnership with LeMoyne, reveal this information to you. So I'm very, very excited to say that today, Joanna Dabrowski is now a proud return member of the Moyne College Dolphins, joining the team once again that she played for, but now is the assistant coach. And just how beautiful of a story that is, and how much irony that is, and again, how small the sports world is. That Joanna came to this team as a post player, and Mary Grimes worked with the post players as an assistant coach under Gina Castelli. Gina Castelli retires from the position. Mary Grimes elevates to head coach from when she was here before. And as a head coach on the team, she brings back her player, Joanna Dabrowski. And when Joanna comes back, she's working with the post players after Mary used to work with her when she was a post player for the team. You cannot write a better story. It's just that full circle love. You're a post player, now you get to work with them under the coach that used to work with you. Beautiful thing. Beautiful moment. Moyne College. Awesome, awesome news. thank you so much for letting me break this story with you in our multimedia marketing partnership. The spotlight on LeMoyne will be different than it's ever been, better than it's ever been, and truly unique angles and so many wonderful people who get to sit down and tell their stories. I am ecstatic about all that's to come with our partnership with the Moyne College Dolphins and everything that we get to do, like breaking these stories here for you. Joanna, welcome. I can't say welcome to the family. I could say welcome back. We missed you, but your seat was always at the table. So shout out and fins up. We'll be back on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora right after this fast break with my good buddy, Ross Turetsky. Shout out once again to Joanna Dabrowski for being this week's top dog of the week as she returns to our community, a community she grew up in, a community she loves, and a community where she used to play, and now she gets to coach, recruit, and be a leader and a teacher in this community for the future of the people that come here. So happy to have you back, Joanna. Welcome home. We'll be back on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora right after this fast break where sports meets life inside of the Cafe Kubal studios.
Cafe Kubal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office, ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafekubal.com. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, located on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, is home to over 40 flavors with more than 200 flavors in their total wheelhouse. Sky's the limit for this sweet and savory Central New York company. Keep it local at your parties, fundraisers, wedding showers, baby showers, and more by calling 315-450-MA-PA. That's 315-450-6272 for popcorn bars with custom flavors and colors at your upcoming event. Make sure to visit them on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. And for more information, go to maandpazsnacks.com. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Here at Progressive Dental, we understand the importance of regular dental visits and preventive care. Cleanings and checkups are essential to good oral health. We have multiple locations in the Southern Tier, so come visit us in Binghamton, Enwell, Kirkwood, Montrose, and Norwich. For self-pay non-insured patients, we offer the Smile Plan, which covers all of your cleanings, x-rays, and exams for an affordable yearly price. Call 607-754-2273 or 607-754-CARE to make an appointment today. For more information, visit our website at progressivedentalny.com.
The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Make sure you make your way out there and download their app on the Google Play and Apple App Store so that you have everything at your fingertips. You'll have the entire menu as well as contactless pay. You can tip right there on the app, and there's a map on the app to get you from wherever you are to the Millhouse Market. Ingrained in our taste buds, ingrained in our community, the Millhouse Market open for you every Tuesday through Sunday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday through Saturday and 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sundays. The general store, as well as their indoor dining and their drive-up carry-out window right there for you. And, of course, you can go inside to their restaurant on the weekends, and the bistro restaurant menu changes every single weekend. So find out what that is this weekend. And, of course, this is the first weekend of September. Every first Saturday of the month is buy one, get one brick oven pizza. So you know where I'll be this Saturday before the game. And you should be up there, too, getting one of their awesome brick oven pizzas, plus another on them. Buy one, get one this Saturday, September 4th. So make sure you go out to the Millhouse Market. Appreciate y'all that have and appreciate y'all that will. With that being said, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. We're breaking news today on the show. We're having a lot of fun. We're doing the annoying moment of the week. I'm talking about cable. I'm talking about mosquitoes. We're challenging the day. There's so many great things going on, and you can only end the first official Friday of September with one of my best friends, one of the closest people in my life, one of the greatest human beings around, and someone who's my officially unofficial, but official producer, Mr. Ross Turetsky, who is constantly sending information, constantly bringing me the good stuff. I don't know how they make him better than this guy. And so, yes, he is a Northeast PA sports writer and broadcaster. And yes, his connection to the sports world is in so many different nooks and crannies. But more than anything else, he's one of the greatest people I know and one of the best friends that I have. So with that, I invite to the show live Ross Turetsky here on Wake Up Call inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, one of my best good friends around. Ross, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Happy Labor Day weekend, everyone. It's exciting times. It's getting a little chill in the air. It's still kind of hot, but there's a little chill in the air, especially in the morning and at night. It's starting to feel like football weather. Kids are back at school, and there's actually fans in the stands when you see these college football games. Like last night, Ohio State at Minnesota. It was a heck of a matchup. Minnesota challenged them to the end. And it was nice to see a packed stadium and a little bit of normalcy during this crazy time we've been living in and trying to get through this pandemic and all the craziness with that. And I know people are, having arguments about vaccinations and masks and all that. But I'm just happy to see football games again and fans there, and to see Penn State play Wisconsin Saturday at 12 tomorrow. Syracuse coming back. It's just exciting to see sports back, but really for diehard football fans, it's exciting to see football back. Are you ready for some football? I'm ready for it. And then I know this coming Thursday is the start of the NFL regular season. You get the champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady, the ageless wonder. I think he's 1,000 years old. He's trying to win his 50th Super Bowl ring, and he's one of the favorites to win it and win an MVP, and he's 44 years old, technically 44. I think it's more like dog years, so you have to times it by 7.
Yeah.
So whatever the math is on that. Tampa Bay versus Dallas, who's been on Hard Knocks Tuesday. This upcoming Tuesday will be the finale of the Hard Knocks show on HBO, which has been fun to see. The turn of Dak Prescott and all the rookies trying to make the team. You got Dallas, Tampa Bay this coming Thursday on NBC. Everyone else plays on the 12th this next Sunday, a week from Sunday. And we even get a Sunday night game this week, because for Labor Day weekend, you're going to have Notre Dame versus Florida State. So there's a bunch of football, college, pro, very excited. And then you get, of course, my favorite sport. I love football, but baseball is always going to be my number one baby. Baseball is now in the pennant stretch drive. A month from today is the end of the regular season, and we start playoffs. So baseball is going to be going to the nitty-gritty to see who's going to win the championship this year. And Yankees are doing well. Very exciting stuff. So sports realm is exciting. You got a new Marvel superhero movie coming out today, not on Disney Plus as well. You have to show up and go to the movie theaters to see it. It should be an exciting movie, and we'll see what the post-credit scene is. I would love to see the movie with you. I've never seen all the Marvel superhero movies with you. What sets it up for the next Marvel creation show or movie? And you got a lot of cool stuff. And then locally in Scranton, La Festa Italiana, which is back after taking last year. It had to be canceled because of COVID. We're excited to have our Italian food festival for the whole weekend going through Labor Day. So great stuff. Happy to be with you again. And Arnold Schwarzenegger wants to say, "Take two come in the morning. It is not a tuna. Get down. It is that nature. You an ugly MFer."
That coming from Ross Turetsky. Welcome here to the show and welcome back to it. A lot of great stuff going on. A lot of exciting moments going on here in the world of sports. And we talk about here with Ross today, the return of the beauty that is football at every level, from high school to college to professional. Ross, you are someone who covers Northeast PA high school football, and you get to write articles and, kind of scout and take a look at the players that are in the area. Bring me into it. What can you say about what Northeast PA is bringing? I mean, first and foremost, you being back at the games in normal fall time, not in March, not sitting at home in the fall, not being able to do it. So what's it like being back there, and what can you say about how the community of high school football is in Northeast PA?
It's tremendous. High school football is king here. I wouldn't put it right up with Texas, where they live, sleep, and die football, but it's pretty close to that. You love Friday Night Lights, the TV show, the movie. It's a little bit like that. Tonight, every Friday night in the fall, that's what these small towns in northeastern Pennsylvania, that's what they focus on. The shops close. Everyone is focused on the game. Whether you played for the team 30, 40 years ago and you have a beer belly and you're like 60 years old, you show up to the game and you root on your alma mater. You have a kid on the team, the moms, the dads, the brothers, the sisters, the cheerleaders are out there, the band is out there. It is just such an exciting time, and everyone's loving it. We started last Friday on August 27th. Last year, we didn't start until mid-September, and they cut the season down to 8 games, and most teams didn't even play 8 games because at any moment, you didn't know when you show up to the stadium that night, they might have canceled or postponed the game because there was a COVID scare or COVID outbreak, and they had to do contact tracing. And last year, there's usually 10 regular season games and then a few playoff games I cover. Last year, I only got to cover 5 games. I covered the first 5 weeks of the season, and then by mid-October, anytime I was scheduled to cover a game, it got shut down because there was a COVID situation at one of these schools. So it was so uncertain. Even this year, there's still some worries because they just got back to school, most of the kids, and they're wearing masks at school. That was the mandate for Governor Wolf for Pennsylvania. But you just hope that, everything will be okay. And they still say that you have to keep on the lookout. We'll send you emails if there's any COVID scares. We have to shut a game down. But it still seems a lot more normal than it was last year. You don't even have to wear a mask on the sidelines, and you're outdoors in fresh air. And I've been vaccinated, so I feel some level of security out there. And I got to cover my first game, basically my backyard. I live right next to Dallas High School, where my kids are going to go one day. And they wear the powder blue jerseys, kind of like the old school LA Charger alternate jerseys. And they played Valley View, a big high school football matchup last Friday. Valley View won 34-14. But the crazier story was, because it was only a 5-point game up until the last quarter, and then Valley View pulled away, scored 15 unanswered points, won by 20. But we had 3 weather delays. Anytime they see lightning or even hear thunder, it's an instant 30-minute delay. And I'm on a deadline to write articles, so I keep looking at my watch. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able – I live 2 seconds away. I don't know if I'm going to be able to write a decent article that's not going to be like chicken scratch, like basically day one. Good job. See you next week. I have to write a thoughtful article and try to get a quote from the coach. I had to eventually just run because the coach wasn't ready to talk to. I have to run and go home and do the article, and I don't want to just give like a 2-sentence article. Say very good. Now I play. I don't want to do caveman talk. So it was a rush. It's adrenaline during the game because you gotta. Unlike with college, when I've covered some college football games where they give you the stats for you, you have to keep your own stats during the game, and then you have to tally them. Write an article based on them, try to get interviews when you can, and you're on strict deadlines to get the article out. So when anything crazy happens, it's just mass chaos. And then it was funny. They were like, "Oh, if there's lightning in the area, we're gonna try to keep going. But after the 3rd time, if it happens one more time, we're probably gonna call a night and reschedule it the next day." And that's after they already said it was probably gonna be moved to the Saturday afternoon. Then I was about to leave and go home, and they're like, "No, the players are running back on the field. We're going to try to get this in." And then I saw a few other flashes, and it seemed like they didn't notice, or they conveniently didn't want to look at the flashes. They wanted to get the game in. Like nearby Lake Lehman High School, where my wife went to school, they're like 10 minutes away from us. They just postponed the game to the next day. They're like, "We're not doing this all night." They're trying to go through weather delays. Almost every local game. What a way to kick off the 2021 high school football season. Everyone's jacked up, ready to party and kick off the weekend and kick off the high school football season. And there was tons of weather delays. There was postponements. It was a mess. It still was exciting. It was exhilarating to cover. I was completely soaking wet. I cover the games old school with my little notepad. So my sheets kept getting wet and the ink was bleeding out everywhere. So I had to keep transcribing my chicken scratch mess of wet handwriting on these papers to clean paper. So it was kind of a mess to keep track of everything. If I wasn't a dinosaur, I probably could just keep track of it on my phone. But we got it done. It was fun. And now tonight should also be perfect weather, 60 degrees. Going to feel a little bit like fall tonight. And I have a nearby high school football game. I'm actually at Lake Lehman High School tonight, which is about 10 minutes up the road from where I live. My wife and her brother's alma mater. They're playing Nanacoke High School, the Nanacoke Trojans, versus the Lake Lehman Black Knights on the black turf. They take their football very seriously at Lake Lehman. It should be a great matchup. It's a big conference showdown in the Wyoming Valley Conference. And Lake Lehman, I expect, probably will win that game. They usually have overmatched Nanacoke in the past. They're both coming off season opening losses. So they're 0-1. They're trying to get on the right track and win their first game of the season, which is a big confidence booster. I know it's not the end of the world in a 10-game regular season to go 0-2, but it feels that way. When you're a high school kid and you're just trying to get some confidence and build that culture, winning culture, especially a lot of these teams, they've lost some of their star players who graduated from last year. They're trying to get these like freshmen, sophomores from last year who are now becoming upperclassmen, take the reins and become the leaders of the team. It's such a big confidence booster to win that first game early on and not start 0-2 and start worrying and panicking. Are we ever going to win a game this year? Or are we going to have a terrible team? So it's a big game for both teams. I expect Lake Lehman to win. I hope it's an exciting conference, close, hard-fought showdown that comes down to the end. Not supposed to be weather issues, and so I hope I have an article and a nice interview, video interview with the coach after the game, and it should be exciting. So like I was saying, high school football is huge around here. They take it real seriously. There's a lot of talented players. Actually, from Lake Lehman High School, just a few years ago, I covered him. Connor McGovern is one of the offensive linemen who's a starter usually for the Dallas Cowboys. I've even seen him poke his head out on the Hard Knock Show on HBO, and he's from Larksville, PA, from this area, went to Lake Lehman High School. His dad's the superintendent of Lake Lehman School District, and Connor McGovern from your Dallas Cowboys, a star offensive lineman, young kid, and sometimes he comes back to Lake Lehman when he has a bye week and is off. He did that when he played at Penn State after he finished high school. He comes on the sidelines. He's like royalty. He will come cheer on his Lake Lehman Black Knights, and it's still part of his it's in his blood, basically. High school football, the guys who make it, we've had some guys who've made it to the pros, have made it to Canadian Football League, to the CFL, to arena football, and then now guys who have now made it to the NFL. And they come back, they still cheer on that school, and whether they made it all the way to the pros, or a lot of them, if they go D1, they'll go smaller D1, or a lot of D2, D3 players for the good players but not great players. They still come back to the games years later, and there's so much pride, and they just love their schools, and they take it so seriously here, and they come back year after year. The fans, the family members, and like I said, a guy who wore a Letterman jacket, played 30, 40 years ago, still has so much pride, and it'll be some fighting words. If you talk this at their school, it can get very physical out there. They might start a fighting stance. There's so much love for their sport and for their alma mater here. It's so exciting to cover high school football in a place where they love it and they live and breathe it. And for 2-3 months out of the year when it's during the season, it's the number one thing going on in this area. They're like, forget pro sports. Forget we have minor league Penguins and minor league Yankees. Their top minor league affiliates are in our area. That's not important when it's high school football season. That is the number one thing going on right here. And it's so very exciting to be a part of it. And now this is my 8th season covering it in a row. And I've been covering it even through the pandemic. And it's exciting to come back to some level of normalcy and cover it week after week. And the passion, you feel it. And it's much better than in a place, if you were living in an area where it's not a big deal and no one showed up to the games and no one cared. Even the sports report on the news after the games, almost the whole newscast, the 11 o'clock news, is almost dedicated entirely to high school football. It's like 5 minutes of weather and high school football, the rest of it. That's their number one concern on Friday nights, and it's very exciting to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's awesome to see that, and it's awesome to have that in the community, that love and that passion for the high school sports. And, those were the kids that everybody suffered in some way, but those kids really, really suffered because colleges can give you back your time, and pro sports can change their schedule around. But if you missed a season in high school, you missed it. And there was no giving back. There was no, we'll find a way to keep your eligibility and do this, that, and the other. So to have this moment return is huge. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And I could not be happier that we get to see this for not just high school football, but for high school athletics in general. It's great to see. I think you can agree, Ross. It's great to see, no matter what, that these sports are back. These kids are playing. They're back in school. And God willing, things will become more and more and more normal. But at least we can get back to the fields and the courts of life and back in the classrooms where these kids should be.
Absolutely. It's just comforting to have those things you take for granted. I've talked to you about this. Never take it for granted again. I know when you get to cover at the newly renovated Dome there in Syracuse for football and basketball, you appreciate every moment. You savor just a little bit more after everything that people have gone through in the year and a half or however long this has been. It seems like it's taken forever. The pandemic, it's been a lot worse for people. We've been lucky enough that we're okay, and we get to cover these amazing games and these opportunities, because there's a lot of people out there who are going through some really tough times now, and you just got to savor and appreciate every moment and really appreciate it and not take it for granted ever again. Because at any moment it can be taken away, and that's what I think you realize during the pandemic, is that at any moment something you love can be just snatched away at a moment's notice. And hope it never happens again. This thing, everyone says, "Oh, it's 100 years in the making." It was a horrible situation, and hopefully we can get to some level of normalcy again.
Yeah, and the hope that people do appreciate and they have learned. Ross, you said it to me, and you said it perfectly. You said when you were going back to cover games, you said, I will never not appreciate this again. Like, I'll never, complain going to the game, and if it's late or I'm getting rained on or there's this and that, I'm never going to go again and not appreciate this. And it hit me in such a way that I was like, you know what? I have to be better about that as well. And with this being let's think about it. I came back to Syracuse in, 2011, so a decade ago. So almost 10 years of covering, Syracuse athletics on site, on location here again, and having the opportunity to go inside the Dome. Last year, and I forget about this because it's like a dream, last year for the football season, it was the Syracuse staff, the Syracuse football team, the other football team, and the media. There was maybe 20 of us. And for basketball, there was maybe 20 of us, 30 of us in the media. So to be one of the 20 or 30 people in the building, besides the people that have to be there for the university, looking at that and the fact that there's 20 people from the outside that they let in, not only was it during a pandemic, it was with the Dome renovations. We were the first people that got to see the Dome for football, the first people that got to see the Dome for basketball. The Dome has only opened twice in its history. It opened in December of 1980, and it reopened in September of 2020. And so 40 years in between, I obviously wasn't alive for the first time, but I was definitely alive for the second one and got to be there for it. And it's so meaningful and beautiful to me that I got to be a part of that history and always a part of that history. And so, your words echoed in my head that, well, Dan, guess what? It's 2021. Fans are going to be back in the stands, and you're credentialed, and you're going back once again to cover this team for almost 10 years on site, on location, consecutively. When you go to that Dome and you got to walk up that hill, or it's snowing, or you're tired, or whatever it may be, or the team might have lost 3 in a row, love it, appreciate it, honor it, because yesterday I got my email, and those emails should always mean something. Dan Tortora, here's your credential. We're looking forward to welcoming you to this season. That should never get old. That email, that opportunity to go in and cover any team at any level.
Still be giddy like a little kid on Christmas morning. That should be the most exciting thing in the world. And now you even have Moyne College, where you're doing all the media stuff for them, for their sports programs, which is an amazing accomplishment. And many congratulations to you, buddy. Well deserved.
Thank you. And I do. I appreciate that, and I thank you so much for that. I thank you for that positivity. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing, to never forget the beauty of life and how important life is, and how moments can, change in an instant, change in a second. And I thought about that yesterday. I love my mom so much, and I was hanging out with my mom, and we went and got some food together with her awesome friends, Marianne and Maggie, who I've known my whole life. And so we all went and ate, and it's cool to be like a little kid that grew up around my mom and her friends, and then to be a grown man who's like now like considered a peer with them and can sit with them and have a meal. And my mom was going to her car, and I just thought to myself, God, I love that woman. You know, I'm so happy. And in an instant's time, anything can change, right? Anything can change. So when you see your mom, you see your dad, you see your brother, your sister, your friends, whoever your family is, be it blood or not, whoever those people are, you hug them, then you hug them again, and you show them love and you appreciate them. And, you know, and the value of that, you know, as Ross said to me, like during this whole pandemic time, because we haven't seen each other, and we'll see each other soon. And, you know, during this pandemic, it was like, I just want to give you a hug. And that's, you know, it's something that he said to me, I just want to hug you, buddy. He also said he wanted to give me pink eye because he had it a couple of years ago, and he was trying to spread it. But
that's the last time I saw you, so I think you're due for some pink eye. You missed out on the party 2 years ago. I don't want to leave you empty-handed. I think it's only fair, if we're going to be close friends, that you get some pink eye, buddy. Yeah, it's going to happen. I will make sure to change my kid's diaper, not wash my hands really after, and then I'm going to try to give you a big bear hug, hands all over you, and give you some pink eye. So watch out, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just wear a hazmat suit when we get together, but I'm looking forward to it. It'll be exciting. Just getting into it before we wrap up here on Wake Up Call for today, Ross, you know, to look at college football and the return of college football, the fact that it's back. You know, Syracuse, one of the few teams in America last year that not only played all their games but did not postpone or cancel any of them, outside of starting their home opener that I was at last year in the new dome 37 minutes late. They played every game the day they were supposed to play it, even with that one being a little bit back. They were able to do that. So very, very excited to see this, you know, see Syracuse.
Well, buddy, are they going to win? That's the big question. Dino Babers, everyone loved him the first few years. They're like, please don't go, don't leave. And now people are like, maybe that was when Eric Dungy was quarterback. Maybe that's why they were winning that 1 year, because since then it's been straight trash. Yeah. And I don't know, like, he needs to start winning or at least be competitive. 2 or 3 wins is not going to cut it anymore. I think Syracuse fans and media members like yourself, you need to put the feet to the fire. You got to start winning and showing signs of improvement, or else this is Division I football. Syracuse has, I know they've had some lots of losing years in recent past, but they've had a lot of great years, and they've won a championship. And they had Ernie Davis and Jim Brown and Don McNabb and Marvin Harrison and Dwight Freeney. They've had star players. You should expect more out of them, Syracuse Orange fans. Do not expect mediocrity and garbage 2-win seasons anymore. Are they going to win some more games this year? What are your thoughts about this season?
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on this season for Syracuse, you know, and this is a question I get a lot, and I welcome the question and I appreciate it, because, you know, that means that you are listening. It means you're watching. It means you respect my opinion, and I've worked very hard and diligently to earn that respect. So,
and I think you'll be honest about it. I think you'll give your straight up opinion.
Yeah, and I will. You know, I think the season rests on this weekend. I know it's week 1, and I know people say, Dan, how could you say that? But in all honesty, I do. I think this Syracuse football season rests on this Saturday, September 4th. What I mean by that is, if they lose at Ohio, you're coming off a 1-10 season. You're coming off 6 wins in 23 games of the last 2 years. So, in my opinion, to go into Ohio, to go into a place where a coach is retiring, to go against a MAC team that Dino used to play when he was at Bowling Green, if you lose this game, it is a downward spiral from here. Syracuse, no matter what they say, they need this game. They need this game to put themselves in a better mental state, because right after that, you have Rutgers. And Rutgers with Greg Schiano and his second coming,
they're improved.
Right, they're improved. We know that he plays physical. We know what he did with Tampa Bay. And so Rutgers would be chomping at the bit to get Syracuse in the Dome after they lose to Ohio. So if that's the case, it's a danger zone. Albany, you got to beat by 3 touchdowns. Liberty, we know, is effective. Syracuse gave Liberty their first ever win against an ACC team. On the wrong side of history, the Orange were. Liberty then went on to beat Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech for their second ACC win ever in history and almost got their third at NC State, but they lost 15-14. And I believe that was on like a missed field goal or something. So looking back on this season, or looking to this season, I would say I'm concerned about Ohio, but let's say Syracuse beats Ohio, they beat Albany, and they beat either Rutgers or Liberty. That puts them at 3-1. They have to be 3-1 or 4-0 in their non-conference games in order for the fans to stay afloat. They're going to have to go 3-0 or 3-1 or 4-0. After that, at Florida State, I think Syracuse is going to have a loss. And I think Florida State's a lot better. I don't think they get the respect that they deserve. I'm a big fan of Mike Norvell because I had him for 4 years in Memphis, and I think if Florida State gives him time, they'll become fans of him as well, if they let themselves. Wake Forest playing Syracuse in the Dome. Dave Clawson knows how to adjust. Dino has done whatever in the first half, and Dave Clawson's responded in the second. That's a danger zone game. It's like a 63-49 game in the past. Syracuse cannot afford to not adjust in the second half. They've proven that they haven't under Dino Babers. Dave Clawson will take advantage of that, and he'll take advantage again if Dino lets him. Clemson, at home, DJ Uiagalelei, new quarterback for you, 2 games in, playing for Trevor last year during the pandemic when Trevor had to go out for 2 weeks due to contact tracing. Looking at these, let's say Syracuse goes 3-1 non-conference, they lose to Florida State, that's 3-2. Let's say they beat Wake Forest, that's 4-2, lose to Clemson, that's 4-3. At Virginia Tech, this is a big game. If they lose this game, I don't think fans will forgive it. But Virginia Tech's better than maybe you think they are. And so let's say Syracuse beats them, they go to 5-3. But it's hard for Syracuse to win on the road. Their last 2 road games at Louisville and NC State, let's say they lose those 2. So now they're 5-5. They got to beat Boston College or Pittsburgh to get bowl eligible. Let's say they beat Pittsburgh at home, they go 6-6. Now, I can argue 6-6. I'm comfortable with 4-8. That's where I sit. I'm very comfortable putting Syracuse at 4-8, but if they go 3-1 or 4-0 in non-conference, I think they can get to 6-6.
I think that's actually a pretty respectable record, and I think at this point Syracuse fans would take that. My worries are how some of these games we said should be wins, that some of those games will be trip-up games, that they will overlook them. And at this point, I don't think Syracuse can be too cocky against any opponent. No. As you saw, and Liberty is better than people think. Rutgers is going to be a tough team. The Albany school, they should definitely destroy. If they can't beat them, that's ridiculous. But Ohio's going to be tough this week. That's a winnable game. But there are some trip-up games where they seem like they should be winnable, but you don't know. Wake Forest, they've won games against Wake Forest recently, but that's going to be a tough game for them. So there's a lot of games they could win. Virginia Tech could win, but it could go in the opposite direction. 6-6, I would consider to be a banner year for Syracuse and Dino Babers, a positive step in the right direction. My fear is that they're going to go 3-9 or 4-8, and that's not acceptable anymore. So I think you need at least 5 to 6 wins this year to say this is a respectable, improved year. I don't care if there was only 1 win last year. 3 or 4 wins is not enough. So 5 or 6 wins needs to be the target. 5-7, 6-6. But if they trip up against some of those really bad programs and Syracuse loses and cannot beat a team like that, then I say there's a sense of trouble. And I think you have to seriously look at possibly buying out Dino's contract or getting rid of him because he needs to show improvement. Enough is enough. He'll get a job elsewhere. I know that. And maybe he'll excel elsewhere. But at a certain point, he needs to prove it here and not just 1 year with a star quarterback, that he can win here.
No, and it wasn't his quarterback, and he did not recruit him. So Andy tried to change him when he came in and tried to get him to stop running, which I laughed at and thought was hilarious. But speaking on Eric Dungy, the reality for me when it comes to Dino is after 3 years, he had a chance to go somewhere else and become a head coach in the quote unquote Power 5. Now, if he goes to the Power 5, he will not be a head coach. He will be an assistant. He may be a coordinator on the offensive side of the ball. Right. Yeah, he is not going to be a head coach. He's not going to be a head coach in the quote unquote Power 5 right now. He will have to be a coordinator, or he'd have to go to the quote unquote group of 4, because I think the Americans should be in the Power. So he'd be, and I don't think he would be a head coach in the American. I don't. So I think for Dino, it's either trying to be a head coach outside of the autonomy group of the Pac-12, Big 12, Big 10, ACC, and SEC, or being in those, but being an offensive coordinator or an assistant coach. I think that's where he is. I think his stock has dropped. I think going 5-7 and 1-10 with your players after you lost Scott Schaefer's players, now you have to prove yourself. And the thing that frustrates me the most, and this is where it's coaching and it's scheming and it's game planning, is they're recruiting strong players individually. They're recruiting NFL caliber players individually. Trill Williams, Ifeatu Melifonwu, Andre Sisco. They're bringing in NFL players, but those guys are individually performing, but the team is not winning, which shows me that it's a scheming problem. It's a decision-making problem with the personnel that they have. It's a decision-making problem. It's a scheming problem. It's a coaching problem. Because if your players are individually talented and you're not winning with them together, then either you don't have enough of the right players, or you're not playing the right players, you're not making the right decisions, you're not scheming the right way, and you're not coaching the right way. Because I don't think it's the players at Syracuse. I think when you look at these players and you look at their caliber and what they're capable of, I don't think it's them.
No, I don't think so. So I think to a degree it is, but I think there's a lot of top recruits there. As much as we said they should recruit more people from upstate New York, central New York area, some of the local hometown kids, and not always go for the big names from Florida and Texas and California, and there's a lot of talent there. I think there is enough talent there to win, and I just think scheme-wise and motivational-wise, you need to be able to motivate your players to excel better and maybe change up your scheme and adapt and overcome and make adjustments. I don't know if they've made adjustments. I think he kind of plays the way he wants to play, how it's worked before in the past, coach his style, and you have to sometimes cater to certain players and certain talents, their athletic ability, and work with what you have. It's not always going to work with just the ability that you want to force it down their throats and play a certain way. It doesn't always work that way. And I think in order to I think the good coaches make those adjustments. The bad ones, they're out of a job in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and I think that really what it comes down to is it's certain things that it's certain people that you put in places where maybe it's time to switch. It's nothing against Tommy DeVito to say it's not working. It's just not working. So if he's a pocket passer and you want to run a hurry-up offense with a quarterback that can run, then Garrett Schrader's your quarterback, and you move on. He's the guy that you test there, because I just put you to the juxtaposition, and I did it earlier this week, and it's as simple as this. In 2019, we saw Tommy DeVito run 112 times, and we saw Garrett Schrader for Mississippi State run 113 times. In 112 runs, Tommy DeVito had 122 yards. That's 1.1 yards per carry. In 113 attempts, Garrett Schrader had 587 yards, 5.6 yards a carry. If you want a running quarterback in your offense where you want to run 100 plays, then you play Garrett Schrader. If you want to change your offense, then you play Tommy DeVito. Yes, he has an arm. Yes, he has talent. No, I'm not saying that he's not worthy, because I would never say something like that, and I don't think I have a right to. But it's just look at the situation and ask yourself the question, is it important for you to just be stubborn, or is it important for you to win? Would you rather be stubborn, or would you rather win? And I think right now Dino has to answer that question. Am I going to be stubborn, or do I want to be victorious? Because being stubborn might be your job, and that might be the end of it. So I just feel like he's got to be open-minded, especially at quarterback, because statistically, there's not enough reason to start Tommy DeVito, but he's starting Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, that's at a certain point stubbornness, or they just are so convinced that what he showed them in the past, or maybe in practices that we don't get access to, that maybe he sees somewhere not. But in games, he's not shown enough. He's also had some bad injuries, and that's not all his fault. But I think at a certain point, you need to go to a guy and a talent set that maybe DeVito hasn't had because he hasn't shown it yet. So I don't see that improving. So I would give him a real short leash in a situation like that before I would.
Well, we will have to see where they go from here, but great points being brought up here in our conversation with Ross Turetsky on Syracuse Orange football. Ross, the season has started for a bunch of teams in college football. The first game being played is not good for Scott Frost as Illinois defeated Nebraska 30-22 at home. Then we saw UConn, who is playing their first season as an independent school, as they left the American Athletic to become part of the Big East, which doesn't have football anymore. And when they did that, they became an independent for UConn football. And when they became an independent, they went into the pandemic and didn't play last season. So a lot of change. 2 years ago, you leave the American Athletic Conference, you go independent, but then the pandemic prevents you. You decide not to play. They were the first team to decide not to play last season, and UConn, playing their first game as an independent school now after all this time and change in between, lost 45-0 to Fresno State. UCLA defeated Hawaii 44-10. UTEP took down New Mexico 30-3, and San Jose State beat Southern Utah 45-14 on the first day of college football on Saturday, August 28th. On Wednesday, September 1st, UAB defeated Jacksonville State 31-0. People will remember Jacksonville State from last year, where they almost beat Florida State in Tallahassee, in Florida State's home. And so that was a notable game back there, and they'll play there again. Ohio State defeated Minnesota 45-31, the first ranked team that we've seen all season, ranked number 4 in the country. Coastal Carolina. Yeah.
Minnesota challenged them, though. It was at home in Minnesota. Ohio State with a new quarterback. Justin Fields is gone, now playing for the Chicago Bears in the NFL. They were put to the test, and they almost got knocked out playing an early Big Ten conference game, but Ohio State survived that game. That was an interesting game last night.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff, and then seeing the Citadel, Coastal Carolina getting some respect from last season, being ranked number 22 coming into this year. They win their game 52-14 over the Citadel, looking like how Clemson plays the Citadel. Utah, ranked 24 in the nation, defeated Weber State 40-17. Arizona State, to start the season, 25 in the country, won 41-14. Ball State defeated Western Illinois 31-21. Buffalo, who I think is underappreciated and undervalued, they won 69-7 over Wagner. NC State faced off against South Florida, and you know I cover the American and the ACC very closely. NC State defeating South Florida 45-0. Appalachian State, who's a thorn in the side of teams, they defeated East Carolina 33-19. Tulsa lost to UC Davis at home, which is a terrible start, 19-17 for the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Tennessee defeated Bowling Green, Dino's old home, 38-6 at home. Then we saw Western Kentucky take down Tennessee Martin 59-21. New Mexico defeated Houston Baptist 27-17. FIU was able to defeat Long Island University 48-10, and UNLV and Eastern Washington played the first overtime game of the college football season in the first few days of college football on Thursday, September 2nd. Eastern Washington defeated UNLV in double overtime 35-33. And in his first game as the head coach of UCF, former Auburn head coach Gus Malzahn defeats Boise State at home 36-31 in a comeback victory. Ross, the first few days of college football have already been pretty darn exciting, I would say.
Oh, it definitely is, and it's just like I said, between the fans in the stands and some close games, some near upsets, it's been pretty exciting. Even just some of the smaller schools playing, but now you're really in the nitty gritty. I love that they're having some instant conference showdowns in the Big Ten. With Illinois, Scott Frost is going to be on the hot seat soon. He did well at UCF, and he's had a lot of troubles in his alma mater of Nebraska. He's going to need to improve that. Illinois was able to knock them off in their first game with their new head coach from Wisconsin coach. And now, a big one here locally is Penn State on the road, top 25 school against another big school, conference school on the road in Wisconsin tomorrow at 12. That should be a big-time showdown. I hope Penn State can pull out that win, but on the road, that's a tough place to play. I don't trust any of them at this point. I don't trust – it's not always the quarterback's fault. I really like Sam Darnold. I think he's going to excel in Carolina. Week 1, he can get revenge against the Jets for giving up on him and put it on him pretty quickly after only 3 years and be Carolina – hosting the Jets in Week 1. I think Zach Wilson has a ton of talent. I think he, as always, he has like a Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen type of arm. You know, honestly, he can throw the field 89 yards with a flip of a wrist. But will he get the protection offensive line? They've reworked the offensive line. They've drafted a key first-round offensive lineman the last couple of years, the Jets, So you hope that they can get the cohesion and the chemistry to protect him. But I still have a lot of doubts. Like, they have X, but I still think a lot of it a while to gel, and that's if everyone stays healthy. I think Zach Wilson will have some high moments and throw for a good amount of touchdowns. I think he might throw for 20-plus touchdowns and throw over 3,000 yards, but I think he's also going to throw for 20-plus interceptions. I think he'll challenge Peyton Manning's rookie interception record. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. He might be the next quarterback. But as a Jet fan, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think it's going to be Jekyll and Hyde. Now it's game 17 regular season. I don't expect him to be any better than 6-11 this year. But I'm giving my honest opinion here. I would love to win a bunch of games, challenge the playoffs. I don't see that happening. I like their young head coach who has defense coordinator for the 49ers in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. He's got a lot of energy and excitement, and I think we'll eventually.
And we may have lost Ross here for a second, and we'll look to bring him back as Ross Turetsky here speaking with us on the upcoming season for the New York Jets. We may have temporarily lost him here. So we lost him for a second here, and we'll try and bring him back momentarily. But with that being said, we will take our final step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, is our home for our Liverpool Warriors exclusive sit-down monthly broadcast with their coaches, student-athletes, and administration. Always love having them all out there and appreciate them so very much for all that they do. So a big thanks to Liverpool High School, walking distance from Avicoli's, your neighbor right there on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road for decades. And there for you every Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks, with the pizza casual side, the fine dining side, the bar, and the outdoor dining right now with the weather being so nice. And, of course, you can call them for takeout, delivery, and catering at 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100, and go to myavicolis.com. That's AVICOLLIS.com. Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, where you can bring your furry-loving friend for the day or for a few days or the week, whatever it may be. The daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, right across the street from BJ's. You'll find them there, and you can call them at 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 for Canine Camp Dog Daycare, that have grooming, daycare, as well as an inside store to pick up a bunch of food and different things that you need for your dog, little treats, as well as leashes, collars, harnesses, and toys. And then you can go around the corner to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse for the Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, longer-term care for your furry-loving friend. Every dog gets their own cabin while supplies last, so make sure you call 315-299-4013. If you know exactly when you're going to need your dog to be looked after, call 315-299-4013 and send them over to Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, which I also appreciate so very much, and thank the entire team led by Lorraine Perry and all that they do there for our beautiful and wonderful dogs. PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck you love chasing around Central and Upstate New York, now has a cafe that you can go to. So when you're jonesing for their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich and everything else they have to offer, you can head over Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. to that wonderful, wonderful new location on 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. That's 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Minutes from Destiny USA, the highway, the thruway, and Onondaga Lake Parkway. Find your way over to PB&J's Lunchbox as I ask you the question, what's in your lunchbox? Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, located on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, is minutes from Skaneateles Lake, and they're there for you to help you through your injury. Whatever your injury may be, head to toe, make sure you give them a call today at 315-685-7544 for preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, as well as laser therapy and surgery. They are there for you to walk you through the process and help you to get better, whatever your injury may be, on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles. Call Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics at 315-685-7544. That's 315-685-7544 today. Helping you, caring about you, walking you through the process, and understanding that everybody's path to victory is different, and they're willing to help you see yours through. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life, I want to thank you for being a part of the show and appreciate you for being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And as we look to have Ross back on the broadcast here, I want to thank him for everything he brought to the broadcast and everything he had to say here on the show this morning. Eastern Pennsylvania, he's a sportscaster and writer and covers high school football and is in the thick of things with Friday Night Lights, including tonight with a big game coming up for him in connection to his wife's alma mater, which is pretty cool. So with all that being said, I want to thank Ross. I also want to thank Juanita Ward for being a part of Lead, brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, and thank Jimmer Sikowski and the team. I also want to give a special thanks to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week, and a shout out to our top dog of the week, Joanna Dabrowski, who we got to break the news is the new assistant coach for LeMoyne College, returning to her alma mater and being under the former assistant coach when she was there, now the head coach. Shout out to Joanna, and a thankful opportunity to bring her back on, to bring her to the show as she returns to LeMoyne College. Mr. Turetsky, final notes on the NFL. As we lost you for a second, we got you back.
All right, I don't know where we were cut off. Did you hear any of the NFL stuff before we got cut off?
You might as well just give us your analysis of the Jets again.
All right, well, we'll go with that. Basically, what I was saying is I'm a straight shooter like you. As much as, we would love to be homers for Syracuse or for the Jets, my JETS Jets have been god-awful and for a long time, and haven't had a real franchise quarterback since Joe Namath was patrolling the sidelines. They won the Super Bowl, and I think I've been excited about young Jets quarterbacks before, but I don't want to get my hopes up. Sam Darnold, I still think could have been a productive quarterback, but in the end, I think gave up on him a little too quickly. And I think in week one, he's going to be out for revenge at home with Carolina versus the Jets against the new Jets future star quarterback, Zach Wilson. I expect Carolina with a healthy Christian McCaffrey and with Darnold something to prove. I think Carolina is going to beat up on my Jets pretty bad in week one. I think Josh Allen has a heck of arm strength, kind of like Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes. He could throw the ball with a flick of a wrist 90 yards with ease. But will he be able to throw it accurate? I think it's going to be a lot like Peyton Manning's rookie season, where if he has Peyton Manning's career, we'll trade him for that. That's fine. There's going to be ups and downs. He'll throw 20 touchdowns, I think over 3,000 yards through the air, but he's also going to probably lead the NFL in interceptions with over 20 INTs this year because he's going to he's going to be really confident with his arm. He's going to try to fit balls where they don't belong. As a rookie, you're going to make mistakes with defensive coaches trying to trick you and show you defenses you've never seen before in college. At BYU, he's probably never been challenged like that before. I think there'll be a lot of ups, a lot of downs. I think year number 2 will be the biggest sign. How much will he progress? If he has a solid rookie year, stays healthy, what will he be at year 2? Because year 2, he better make the jump to be a stellar quarterback by then. And I really like their young head coach, a defensive coordinator for the 49ers. Took him to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. I think he brings a lot of energy. I think he'll bring a win culture, something the Jets haven't had in a really long time. I think he's the man for the job. I just think it's going to take a while to build that team up. They've been so bad for so long. It's going to be a challenge, but I like the pieces they have in place. The offensive line is going to take a little while to get chemistry and synergy, but they've gotten 2 first-round offensive linemen, 2 studs in the last 2 NFL drafts. They've gotten some veterans. If they can stay healthy and get chemistry, they might be able to protect their young quarterback, and then their young running backs they've gotten, Michael Carter in the draft. I think they could be okay, but it's going to be offensive line. Will they be able to protect? I think the defense is underrated. I still think even an expanded 17-game season, I think the best they're going to do this year is 6-11. That'd be a good year for the Jets at this point. They only won 2 games last year. And then you hope if they can get to 6-11 this year, they can make a big jump in year number 2 with their young coach and with Zach Wilson, proving he's the man and not hopefully another situation where the Jets will be drafting first round looking for his replacement the next 2 years like they did with Sam Darnold, because that's just a headache. It's a revolving door, and you're never going to win if you don't find your franchise quarterback in this league. So that's my thought on the Jets. With the Steelers, my wife Abby's Steelers, I think they're an underrated team. Ben Roethlisberger is probably his last year in the NFL. I like their rookie running back from Alabama, Najee Harris. I think good receivers, good defensive star players, T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick. I think they're going to be a heck of a team. I think they're dangerous. People are sleeping on the Steelers. And then Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will they be able to win another Super Bowl, repeat with basically the same team? A lot of talented players. I really think if Brady, will he show any signs of decline at 44 years old? I really think, as much as I don't want to see it, I think Brady and the Buccaneers are going to definitely be the favorites to win it again if they stay hungry, and they're 100% vaccinated, they just said last week, so that's a big plus. They shouldn't have any issues with that. If they stay on their game, stay motivated, which I think Brady and Bruce Arians will, and all those veterans will keep them going throughout the year. I think Tampa Bay has a great chance to repeat. That will be a big question. What will your Dallas Cowboys look like with Dak Prescott coming back from injury? That's key. Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. Can he coach the NFL after all those years in college? That's going to be a nice one to see. Your 49ers team is going to be interesting to see. Does Garoppolo stay healthy? Does Trey Lance take that job? And will the Dolphins, they're rumored to maybe trade for Deshaun Watson if he's not suspended, will they give Tua the chance to be the quarterback, or will they pull the plug early and to go to Deshaun Watson? That's going to be an interesting one. And my final one to talk about would be the Green Bay Packers. Very well could be the last dance, like the post they did with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers for the ESPN documentary last year with the Bulls with Jordan Pippen. This could be their last year in Green Bay. I think it will be. Devontae Adams is a free agent at the end of the year. I think he'll be gone. Star wide receiver, probably the best receiver in the game. And then I think Aaron Rodgers will be a superstar elsewhere, and Aaron Rodgers will be gone, and Jordan Love will be taking over next year. What will they do in probably their last go-around in Green Bay after all the animosity and all? Will they or won't they keep Aaron Rodgers? Will Aaron Rodgers demand to be traded or hold out this year? He's back. I think he'll have a heck of a season. I think they'll put up big numbers, but I think in the end they'll probably lose the NFC Championship game, probably for the third year in a row, possibly to Tampa Bay again. And they'll fall just short of that goal to win that second Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. So what will that look like in probably his last season in Green Bay of Aaron Rodgers? So a lot of interesting storylines, and I just can't wait for it to get started Thursday night. Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus your Dallas Cowboys, and hopefully Dak Prescott and the Cowboys could be a solid team this year after all the craziness they've gone through.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff and a lot of succinct thoughts there from Ross Turetsky. I expect nothing less. High school as well as college and the pros. Ross and I will have plenty to talk about as time goes on, but I'm happy we got a few minutes to talk today as he is out there doing his thing in Northeast Pennsylvania as a sports writer, broadcaster, husband, and father of two. Ross, as always, I appreciate you very much, buddy. I look forward to seeing you soon, and I hope all is going well and everybody is staying safe. And you and I, believe it or not, I feel like last month was January 2021, but you and I have a birthday, you in less than a month and me right after. So, well,
yeah, in 4 weeks I'll be 35. You'll be 36 a few weeks after on the 21st. Just hopefully we'll get to see each other. It's been about 2 years since we've seen each other in person, even though we've FaceTimed and we've talked on the phone, done sports shows, but want to give you that pink eye that I owe you from 2 years ago. Can't wait for that. A big bear hug. And just hope we'll be exciting football season to cover for both of us and to watch the games and to cover, and fantasy football with our Marywood alma mater with their fantasy draft this past week. So excited about that. Baseball pennant stretch drive. Hopefully my Yankees can win a championship first time in 12 years. That would be exciting with Aaron Judge and company. My daughter loves Aaron Judge and all that. She sleeps with his dolls at night, has his posters up. And then, yeah, hopefully we can check out a Marvel superhero movie today. New Marvel superhero movie in the theaters. Check that out. Eternals in November. And then it's a new Spider-Man movie coming out just for Christmas. So hopefully we can check out one of those movies before long. But thanks for having me on. Congrats about the Moyne College news. Very well deserved, and I hope everything's going well, and have a great Labor Day weekend with your friends and family, buddy.
You too, brother, and I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless, okay?
All right, take care.
Take care. That coming from Ross Turetsky once again here where sports meets that thing called life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Much appreciation for Ross joining the show, and a thank you to all of you who joined the show today and join the show every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the beautiful and the wonderful Cafe Kubal Studios, listening on mixlr.com/Wake Up Call DT as well as on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, and of course, finding us here and watching and listening on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as facebook.com/wakeupcalldt and facebook.com/live-now-DT. So thank you, however you tune into the show. And of course, for those of you that find your way to us on all of your favorite archived podcasting platforms, finding us on any one of these podcasting platforms, a big thanks to those that have downloaded Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on Stitcher, Spotify, MixLR, YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and Podbean. Many a thank you to each of you for doing that. Search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on any of these platforms today, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And a big shout out and a big thanks to all of our wonderful partners here in the community: Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, Avicoli's, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, K9 Kamp Dog Daycare, PB&J's Lunchbox, the Millhouse Market, Honda City of Liverpool, Mother's Cupboard, K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, Pizza Man, Progressive Dental, and Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. Thank you to each and every single one of you. Go to maandpaspopcorn.com today from any one of the 50 states and order online using the promo code DT20. That's DT20. You got to get your popcorn ready for football season. And for baseball's upcoming playoffs, go to maandpaspopcorn.com and use the promo code DT20 for 20% off, and look forward to having you all tell me what your favorite flavor is from Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. And, of course, LeMoyne Dolphins with our multimedia marketing partnership officially starting on September 1st, and here on September 3rd, already having our first breaking news story live on the show during the morning broadcast. Joanna Dabrowski having her news of becoming a new assistant coach for the LeMoyne Dolphins women's basketball team. I want to thank Joanna for being a part of the show. I want to thank Mary for hiring her back, and I want to thank LeMoyne for coming through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and having the opportunity to partner together to release this information to you this morning. And of course, it'll be available on all of our podcasting outlets very soon. So shout out to the LeMoyne Dolphins. Plenty coming up every single month, including this inaugural month of our partnership with the Dolphin Dive, as well as with having the AD and DT segments with Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, as well as so much more coming up on wakeupcalldt.com and on our social media at wakeupcalldt on Facebook, at CallDT on Twitter, and at wakeupcall_DT on Instagram. Go back and see the news of the announcement with myself and Bob Beretta, as well as my special with my dad, who is a Moyne College alum, and my tour around the campus of LeMoyne on the day that I made the announcement on my grandfather's birthday of August 26th. All of those videos are on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and the homepage of wakeupcalldt.com. So we will see you there, and I will see you soon. Go out and see LeMoyne this weekend as they are in action, and I'm very excited about this. The women's soccer and men's soccer teams both in action. The men at home on Friday and Sunday, the women at home right in the middle on Saturday. And this weekend, men's and women's cross country. It's been almost 2 years since the LeMoyne Dolphins have competed on the fields and the courts and the tracks of life, and they will come back this weekend to usher in a new era of Moyne College Dolphins athletics, and I'm ecstatic about the opportunity to cover these stories, cover these wonderful people, and to bring LeMoyne even closer to your doorstep right here in Central New York and all around the world. So come out and support LeMoyne this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as they return to action after almost 2 years of having to wait. It's a huge moment. It's a beautiful moment, and we'd love for you to be there. With that being said, shout out to all of you. Thank you for listening and watching. Thank you again for the annoying moment from Carvel DeWitt. Thank you for Lead and to Juanita Ward, and of course to Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Thank you to K9 Kamp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, with the top dog of the week, who is Joanna Dabrowski. Thank you to the LeMoyne College Dolphins, as we got to share this breaking news together this morning, with Joanna returning to the team now as an assistant coach after being a post player in women's basketball, now back to coach the post players for LeMoyne College Dolphins women's basketball team. And thank you to Ross Turetsky for bringing us into the football season for high school, college, and pro. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for a fantastic week. It's game week for Syracuse football, as they will play their first game of the season at Ohio tomorrow, Saturday, September 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We brought you through with interviews, video Q&As. Those are now available to you on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, and they'll be shared on Facebook at wakeupcalldt, Twitter at calldt, and Instagram at wakeupcall_DT if they haven't been shared already. So we'll see you there. And in the meantime, to each and every single one of you, and to all of the families that had to see their soldiers come home in a different dress inside of, unfortunately, flags that were covering caskets, I pray for you. I hope for you. May God protect our freedom. May God protect our hearts, our minds, our bodies, and our souls. And may God protect the beauty and the sanctity of what it means to be a human being. God bless to each and every single one of you. And may we all be safe, happy, and healthy as we move forward. God bless. No stress. Do your best as always. I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great day and a fantastic Labor Day weekend.